Habari Entertainment proudly presents Habari Live. Habari Live. From Phoenix, Arizona. And you're listening to the Habari Live podcast. The show that brings you news, sports, and entertainment for people who love HabariEntertainment.com. Here are your hosts, Iesha, Jimmi, and Damon Dipleen Ellison. Let's get it going. We are all the way live.
And good morning. Welcome to another episode of Habari Live, where we keep you updated with the news, sport, and entertainment. Like always, we are all the way live from Phoenix, Arizona, Paradise Valley to be for sure. Let's get it going. Yo. Yeah, we have a very, very, very good special guest today, man. We're going to talk about some basketball today. We're going to learn about how to hoop. Maybe I could hit a layup. You know what I'm saying? We got Coach Lawrence Taylor in the house. He's the owner of Seven City Knights Basketball Organization, and he's also a 25-year basketball coach. Welcome to the show, bro.
Hey, how you doing? Welcome. Thank you for having me.
Man, it's nothing, man. You're
right now.
You're a legend around here, man. You've been all around the nation.
No,
man.
I'm not a legend. I'm just a regular guy, man.
Regular guys make a difference, and that's what you do. You know what I mean? You out here helping the kids, giving your time to help kids. You're spending your time out here to make people better in something that they can be better in, for they can better themselves. I think that's legendary. You know what I mean? And you've
appreciate that. I appreciate that.
For sure.
A lot.
You've been all around the nation, teaching basketball, learning basketball. So let us know a little bit how your basketball journey started, man, and how did you get into hoops?
Man, we got to go back 50 years for that. But I remember like it's yesterday. I got a basketball as a gift, from one of my family members up in Southeast DC.
Mm-hmm.
And then another family member took it from me.
Wow.
Which caused a little internal fight in the house.
Right.
And they got the ball back and gave it back to me and said, go down the street and play at the park.
Right.
So I go to the park, and then the big kids took it from me. The brand new basketball,
right.
You know what I'm saying? So I went back down there with my cousins, and that wasn't a good fight. And I said, well, you know what? I'll play you for the basketball next week.
Right.
And I went down there, we played them, and we beat them. I'm 12 years old.
Right.
These guys 14, 15, 16 years old. And a gentleman who did the cleanup for the park right around the Robert England Recreational Center named Mr. Brown, saw me play these guys. And he was like, hey, kid, come here and talk to me. And he was like, who are you? I'm like, I'm Lawrence Taylor. And he's like, what, the football player? I'm like, no, I'm Lawrence Taylor. I'm Lawrence Taylor, the real Lawrence Taylor.
Right.
And he was like, well, look, you know who those kids are, right? Apparently they was kids that had went wayward, but had a lot of potential to be the next great thing out there. But they that street life reeled them in and kept them.
Yeah.
And he said, look, I'm going to do something for you that I never did for nobody else. And he let me come into the recreational facility, which kept me off the playground.
Right.
Showed me how to, gave me a little job. He paid me $5 to do the floor. And then he gave me an hour to do what I wanted to do and shoot around. And he showed me, that was my introduction to basketball, love and pain.
Wow. It's dope, man. And like I said, it's always someone else that gives you a hand up. Mm-hmm. And then once you get that hand up, you want to take others and give them that, also give them their hand.
Well, I didn't even know he was watching. I had no idea. I mean, I had seen him many times before. I thought he was homeless because he just walked around the park and he was doing clean. I'm like, man, who's this homeless guy?
Right.
He's the director of the facility.
Wow.
I was like, wow, okay. I didn't know.
Never know, man.
Never know who you're talking to until you know who you know.
Yep. That's why they say always respect, man, because you never know who you're talking to.
Mm-hmm.
Never know. So from there, you went on to what you played high school basketball. And what state were you born in?
Washington, D.C.
Okay.
Washington, D.C.
Okay.
Yeah, I played high school basketball until I got in a little bit of trouble. Then that dream kind of got taken away from me.
Okay.
But I made my way back, walked on to a college, South Carolina State.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering, because I know you played at South Carolina.
Mm-hmm. Okay. South Carolina State, small state.
Mm-hmm.
Again, got in trouble.
Wow.
Got in trouble. And I had to make a real decision, so I joined the Army.
Wow. Because I was going to ask you that, because I know you end up getting hurt out there, and that kind of derailed your plane back in 2003. What was the big move that? I mean, I know it's personal, but what made you make that decision? Because that's a big move, going from I love basketball to deciding, all right, I need to go to the military. Did you think you needed that discipline?
No, I came home to take care of some family stuff. End up finding out that the people who did what they did were right around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get retribution, and it just didn't work out the way I thought it was going to work out. So I was kind of on the run,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Wow.
Police were chasing me. I'm running left. My cousin's running right.
Wow.
And I literally fell down into a manhole and bust my chin up. And they caught him, but they didn't find me. And I came out the manhole the next morning, and I was just going home, District Heights, and I heard the song, "Be All That You Can Be."
Wow.
So I'm like, yeah, I'm okay, yeah. I walked into the recruiter's office. They're like, "Dude, where you come from?" I'm like, "Look, man," I told them the truth. I was like, "Hey, man, I was on the run. It was the shooting that happened out Green. I didn't have nothing to do with it, but I was there.
Right.
I was on the run." I said, they looking for the other guy. I don't have no guns. I'm not no killer. I'm a basketball player. I was just out there with my cousin. I didn't know it was gonna go down like that. They was like, okay, they called the cops. The cops came down, they took my statement, they took me out back, they hosed me off, they put me in fatigues, and I took the ASVAB. I scored a 122 on the ASVAB, which means they was like, man, you're super intelligent. Why are you doing this?
Right.
And I had to do 2 years in the Army as a probationary per order by the court,
Right.
and I ended up doing 20.
Wow. Wow, man. That's amazing, man. I mean, because you got to understand, man, I know how it is. You get caught up in the streets. And sometimes, man, you just make these decisions. You're like, I'm gonna change something. And today is the day the change is coming.
Yeah, it was a forced change. Then my cousin was like, "Yo, man, them dudes, they up the street. Come on, let's go. LT, let's go." I'm like, "Nah, man. I'm like, get in the car."
Right.
So I'm like, okay, I go up the street. I'm gonna get beat down when they get back.
Right. Right.
So I said, all right, I go up the street, but I had no idea what's going. This was when people used to actually fight.
Right, definitely.
But that was the day people pulled out guns and knives, and I'm like,
escalated.
oh, yo, I'm not with that, son. I'm a basketball player. I'm getting out of here, and it just went bad. It went bad.
Yeah, man. That's. I mean, it's a good story. It's a horrible story, but it's a good story because in the end, you come out. You know what I mean? A different person, and it just shows that the growth that somebody can have. So
it's bigger than the growth. It's God's plan for me wasn't going to be derailed.
Mm-hmm. Right.
No matter what the obstacle was in front of me, and in this case, some of them obstacles was family and love.
Yeah.
But His plans for me was not going to be derailed. I wasn't going to go in that direction.
That's powerful, man. Because so many get lost and they just can't find them way out, man.
Mm-hmm.
And
I was on the verge. I was right there at the edge. I was right there at the edge. I was on the verge.
Right.
I really was.
That's determination, man. But you did play. You made it to the practice squad for the Sonics, right?
Yes, I did. I was there for about 4.5, maybe 5 years.
Okay. Did you you were able to meet GP and
oh man, he elbowed me in the face. I got stitches up here, right? Yeah, elbow me in the face. I met a lot of young guys there. I met a young rookie, Kevin Durant. Come to find out he lived right around the corner from me in Southeast DC.
Man.
I met Westbrook when they first got there. Ran into Ray Allen a few times. Sam Perkins. Saw a lot of people. Met Nick McMillan, really good coach.
Yeah.
Some vets. Ran into Sean Kemp when he was going through the whole recovery phase, trying to get back.
Yeah.
Desmond Howard. I ran into a lot of guys there.
Man.
Shaman Williams was there. It was
I remember Shaman. Yeah.
It was a lot of people there. Come to find out, I had some cousins that I didn't even know was family members.
Wow.
Because my family line is crazy, from the Sudams to the Hollies to the Williams, to the Hensons to the Burrells,
huge
to the
family.
Taylor. Yeah, a huge family.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm traveling and I'm like, yo, hey, boom, 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 and I'm mentioning names. They're like, oh, you know my mom? I'm like, yeah, I know my mom. That's my grandma. No way. It was like, wow, okay. I didn't realize how big the family was.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah. So I ran into a lot of people, and even though I thought I was by myself, I had a lot of help along the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying?
You can't do it alone, man.
Man, I mean, I just put down my own pride a long time ago. And I just said, okay, God, I'm a passenger. When you want me to get out and do something, let me know.
Right.
I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get back in the car. I'm gonna shut up and let's ride.
Yeah, man.
And I started that after the injuries with the military, like 2006, 2007, and 9, and I haven't looked back since.
Wow. So what led you to say that you were going to start helping others, to start being a coach?
So I was frustrated, man. I was sitting at the gym. I was just finished like my last PCL surgery for my left knee. I had to do PCL, ACL, meniscus, and full reconstruction of the left,
Oh my goodness.
as well as bicep tendon and tenier muscle for the whole left arm and shoulder. I was involved in an IED explosion, so this whole left side was impacted by a rocket which broadside my 911 Humvee out in Iraq.
Goodness.
And so I had to do full reconstruction on this whole side, CV joint, the whole side. The only thing that got hit on this side was my head hit the glass, and I had to get staples in my head.
Right.
And these fingers, which they still haven't repaired. They said they don't want to repair them because I still have functionality of them.
Right.
So I was rehabbing. I'm sitting in the gym, and I'm just in there working out. And I walk past the basketball court, and I'm like, nah, I'm not going in there. And I saw a little kid run by, and he had his basketball. And I was like, look at that. I'm like, wow, that's where the love starts. I'm like, yeah, give me a ball. I'll sign the ball out. So I'm on one end of the court. The kid's on the other end of the court, and he's hurling the ball up, trying to make shots. And I'm like, man, you got to left, right. You got to left, right that. I'm seeing what he needs to do, but I'm not acting on it.
Right.
And I'm like, man, he's got a left. If he left, right that or jump stops me, yeah, he can get that. So I turned my back, and I started shooting. And ironically, he misses. The ball rolls all the way down the court and hits me in the leg.
Wow.
So I turn around, and I'm like this, and he's like, ball. I'm like, okay, well, set your feet. I pass it to him, and he catches it. I said, come here, man. And I started just showing him some stuff, and his parents running the gym, and they're like, I'm like, hey, I'm not a stalker. I'm just a basketball player. I'm a soldier. How you doing? First Sergeant Taylor. I'm with the 26.
Right.
Introduce myself, and she's like, no, not that. I've never seen him make that many shots. What did you tell him? I'm like, well, I just told him to set his feet, and push from the elbow, not from his shoulder.
Right.
Use the momentum from the ground up and just hit that spot. It's a box right there. The box is not going to move. The backboard is there.
Right.
And she was like, here. And she put $40 on my hand.
Wow.
And I'm like, what is this for? She said, because you've showed him more in 10 minutes than his trainers have showed him in a month.
Wow.
I'm like, well, I mean, it wasn't my intention. I kind of was ignoring them, just to be honest with you, because I didn't want to go down there because I've been down this road, it's just been it's a lot of pain I'm dealing with that. Yeah. So I was confronting my own frustrations of success that I could have had to the stupid decisions that I made, which kind of stifled anything that I could have did.
Right.
But again, that wasn't the path for me. God had a path that was much deeper, much bigger, and more in detail.
Right.
So she was like, well, look, can I bring him back? And she brought him back. And this was on the military base too. So a lot of people were like, who's this guy coming in here training all these kids? Like, oh, that's First Sergeant.
Wow.
So the military had an issue with that. And it was like, well, you can't be charging people money to come in. I'm like, well, I'm not charging them money. They're just giving me money.
Right. They're donating.
What am I supposed to do? Turn around and give it to the gym? I said, I don't mind that. It's not about me. It's about them.
Right.
So the one kid ended up going from 3 kids. The 3 kid ended up going to a small group of 10 kids. And next thing you know, I had a camp going.
Wow. And where was this?
At Fort Eustis, Virginia.
Okay.
So then Fort Eustis was like, well, look, let's make this part of the intramurals program.
Wow.
And it grew from there, and it became an intramural basketball team, which was called the Southside Knights, which I was the coach of and the first player of. And I brought the best players from the military together from the entire base, from all of the units.
Right.
And we started traveling. We went to the Capitol Classic. I had a great game at the Capitol Classic, scored like 60 points.
Wow.
And we won. And we came back to the base, and then intramural sports in the military, which had went on a lull because of everything was going on since 9/11, went back up.
Okay.
And it just restarted. Everything just started pumping, and they started doing camps and everything. And it was like, well, where do you want to take it from here? I said, well, I don't know, man. I'm getting ready to retire, man. Where y'all take it is where y'all take it.
Right. And
I retired, moved to Arizona with the intention of being retired.
Right.
And it didn't happen. It didn't happen, man. I sat down. I had an ABA team that was playing over there on the East Coast called Southside Knights.
Right.
ABA called me and asked me if I can do some things out here. I grabbed some guys out here. We went to the ABA championship, lost by 5.
Yeah, I saw.
So I have a Western Conference champions as ABA divisional champs. I have an Eastern Conference champions as being Eastern Division champs. And then the team renamed from Seven City Knights to be more connected to Phoenix and Arizona to be called the South Phoenix Knights.
Okay.
Which is the secondary page that you guys might see.
Okay. Yeah,
Those
we didn't see that.
pages
So
run together.
the South Phoenix Knights now.
Yeah, South
Okay.
Phoenix Knights.
That's dope, man. That's really dope. And especially the spotlight South Phoenix also.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The spotlight, the hood is really dope, man. And it's so dope what you're doing. Is it still the ABA, like from the 70s ABA still?
Yes.
That's dope, man.
It is. I mean, and during that walk, I got a chance to meet some really good people. I met Bob, I met Dr. J.
Wow.
I met so many people. I met Ezra Hill, one of the last surviving Tuskegee Airmen.
Wow.
I mean, I met a lot of people on that walk through the ABA. I've owned the ABA team, I don't know, 14, 15 years now.
Wow, man. That's great.
And I've owned it with no help 100%.
Wow.
Haven't had to go out to outside money. Haven't had to really reach out to sponsors because I've been blessed with my military career, blessed to be able to meet people that I can call and say, hey, you know, looking for some things like this, And they've been able to tell me how to use bartering tactics and different things like that to make it happen without having to ask for front end money.
Right.
And I've been able to make it happen. I've impacted so many people.
Man, I bet,
players, man.
I bet. That's
I got
amazing.
Players reaching out to me now from 2005, 6, 2000. They're like, bro, you changed my life. I'm like, who is this? It's John. I'm like, yo, what's up? How you doing, man? I was just scrolling through Facebook. You still playing, dude? What's up?
Right.
I'm like, man, bro, you look exactly the same as you did in 2000. No, I don't. No, yes, you do, man. I'm like, wow, man, basketball is the fountain of youth, man.
Yeah.
For me, at least.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It keeps you in shape, keeps you happy.
It keeps
then you come with the youth.
It keeps you mentally sharp because it's just one of the few games in the world that you can't perfect.
Yeah, man. I really admire everything that you're doing, bro. I mean, to own the team and to also coach these kids and do so much for the city and for everyone that's trying to, because everyone's not going to be a pro.
Yeah.
But basketball still changes lives.
Yeah.
And it still makes you learning how to play on a team, learning how to take direction, learning how to be responsible for your actions. These are the things I think that team sports teaches you. And I think that's really important for a lot of kids. And they're playing sports and learning from people like you. They'll definitely become better people, I believe, doing these things.
Yeah.
So we want to applaud you, man, for everything you've done, bro. You're a big deal, man.
Absolutely.
That's dope. Yay.
I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out how she got past baby gate.
Who knows? We already know.
I knew it. I saw her when she was walking back.
I ain't even gonna lie. She kind of scared me earlier. I looked back over and she was just standing there with her big old grin. I was like, oh snap!
I'll tell you what though.
She a little ninja.
Yeah, she got.
She just. I'm like, did she just walk?
So the real superstar to interview right here.
Right.
All right, now I'm out.
Yeah. Believe it or not, basketball. When I was playing it, I didn't know it. If that can make sense.
Yeah.
I was so concerned with
making it
right that I didn't know that what I was doing would become standardized, that what I was doing would revolutionize the game or change the game. I didn't know that my impact would be like that. When I started digging into basketball, I was digging into it because the meaning of the sports, pretty much all of the sports, has a religious basis behind it. It's about getting everybody together. It's about fellowship.
Right.
It's about brotherhood. You know, basketball doesn't care if you're white, black, or Asian. It just wants to go in the hoop. It doesn't matter who does it. And it only takes 2 sets of hands to put it in there.
That's real.
Football, only 2 hands can score. Baseball, only 2 hands can hit a home run. Bowling, only 2 hands can bowl a 300.
Yeah.
Soccer, only 1 foot can kick the ball in the goal. So, but together you get the ball in position to score.
That's real.
So the religious basis behind it is what really came true to me. And this all happened, you know, from the kind of near-death experience that I had
Right.
with me getting injured.
Right.
I'm literally like laying there and I'm telling the doctors, I'm like, hey man, I saw everything you guys were doing on me. Why was she being so rough? Why would not? They're like, it's no way you could have seen that.
You're supposed to have been out.
Yeah, they told me that I had flatline for about 45 seconds.
So you
So
have an out of body experience there.
I don't know what to call it. I mean, they say that's what it is, but I was literally standing in the room and it felt like I was maybe 2 or 3 people behind, just watching them, work on me. And I'm like, damn, why is she hitting me? She's my I'm like, why
Right.
is she hitting me? But they were chest
Trying to get
compressions.
trying to get you to come back
Yeah.
there.
And I turned and looked over my shoulder and I kind of saw my grandmother standing there. And I was like, hey, grandma, it was a nice little conversation. Felt like forever. But they told me it was only 45 seconds.
Man.
And she was talking to me and she was like, you're doing so good. She was like, just stay the course, keep moving. I'm proud of you. And I went to hug her. And she said, no. She said, no. And she hit me in my chest. And then I kind of came to on the table and we got him. And I'm like, I mean, to this day, I can't explain what it was. It just was something different.
Right.
Than I had ever seen before in my life. What I mean? From the streets, Southeast DC, I don't believe in ghosts. I don't believe in
Right.
So, but to see that made me realize that there's more to existence than this plane, than this form of energy, than this standard that we accept as the norm.
Right.
There's more.
Yeah, man.
It just opened my eyes, which is part of the reason why my motto for my training company, Real Ground Hoops, is be more.
Right.
Because in being more, you never know who you're going to reach.
That's real, man.
Yeah. So,
and you're reaching, man. You're reaching a lot of people, and that's a really, really deep story, bro. Because I mean, I've never been there.
Yeah.
And those that have been to near-death experiences, I know that they have, a connection with a higher state of mind and the higher spiritual, whatever they may feel connected to. And it always brings them to a different place. They look at life a different way. That some of us who haven't experienced those things, we may not be able to reach those same thought patterns because you guys have seen something that we just haven't seen yet.
Well, it was. I came back, so to speak, different.
Right.
Things that I used to like, I couldn't stand. Stuff that I used to do, I couldn't do anymore.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like I used to smoke weed and drink. It was just like I was like, nah, man. I used to go out in club and party. Yo, we gonna go out and turn up for what? It's a waste of time.
Right.
My it's like
Perspective.
Yeah, it was different.
Mm-hmm.
People told me, they was like, yo, man, you ain't the same. I'm like, I'm proud. I'm proud that I'm not the same. I'm good. That means something bigger is coming down the road for me.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, man, you ain't cool no more. I'm like, okay, I'm cool with being not cool.
Right.
That's why.
Definitely.
It was just different. So I mean, I don't know. My grandmother, she was gone at that time. My grandfather was gone at that time. My aunts and uncles was gone at that time. I only had 2 cousins left. Really wasn't connected with them. Still really not connected with one. My mom and dad was gone.
Right.
So it was just kind of me, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
But then family started reaching out from the left and the right. And I was like, wow, I didn't know that. I was married. I had a beautiful wife, family, the whole 9 yards. Everything was, I thought was where it needed to be. And then that path also changed because this walk that I'm on, I couldn't have done it with all of those other things, around me.
Definitely.
I wouldn't have been able to be where I'm at now
Mm-hmm.
with it, and there was some hard decisions I had to make. And I made them out of love.
Right.
So it's I still carry a little bit of that fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful, man. You got a dope story. You got a dope background, man. And it's for real. It's inspiring because there's so many people come from the hood and from these bad places and from South DC and South Phoenix, South Chicago, and they can't make it out, man.
Yeah.
So it's inspiring to hear stories of people like you who were able to come out of these situations, make it to an NBA practice team, become successful, go to college, become an owner of an ABA team. Now you're out here working with Bridget Pettis and other people that are successful and teaching kids, how to do things so you can do something.
Yeah.
It's you don't have these. It doesn't have to just be I played basketball and I didn't make it. My life over. Nah, man. You can use those to take bridges to go to other places. Basketball can take you so many places, and it doesn't have to be just as a player.
Yeah.
Coach, executive. There's so many things you can do. And I think that we need to learn those things.
Yeah.
And talking to people and learning about people like you is a good example of it.
Man, I tell these players all the time, I'm like, hey, don't aspire to be in the NBA right now.
Right.
You know, aspire to learn the best that you can be, the best that you can be now.
That's what you can do.
Go out and make an impact on somebody's life now. Go to college. I said, and if you do the right things, you're not going to have to go look for the NBA. They're going to come find you. Because they're going to want to have your story be the front center of what that team is moving in the direction that team is trying to go. I said, so if you go out and just be the best version of yourself, what you want at the end of the day will actually come to you. As far as the woman that you want to be with in your life, as far as the luxuries you want to have around you, you'll put yourself in position to have those things in position.
Right.
You don't got to go out and try to find it now, because if you find it now, you're gonna squander it now. You're gonna lose it, and it's gonna be something you're gonna regret later.
Yep.
And the kids look at me like, well, what about NILs, man? It's just a way for you to brand yourself before you actually experience who you are and find yourself.
That's real.
It's just a way for you to be more lost than you already are.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just my perspective on it is just, I think a lot of things need to change. And I had a chance, man. Wow, I'm thinking about it. I had a chance to actually meet Kobe Bryant.
Wow.
The day before he died.
Wow.
He was over at the facility on 48th and Broadway in South Phoenix.
Really?
Yeah, with his daughter. They came in for a girls basketball tournament. And I just got a chance to kind of walk by him. I saw him and I'm like, hey, I shook his hand. I'm like, hey, how you doing? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, boom, we chopped it up, and he started talking to the rest of the guys and was talking about the state of women's basketball and some of the things he wanted to impact because he thought it was really an underserviced market.
Definitely
in
is.
basketball. And just some few different directions that he wanted to go with it. And I was like, man, that's dope. That's dope.
He was gonna make it a big deal, and his daughter was gonna be a big deal.
Yeah, I was like, that's dope. That's dope. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, hey, well, next time you're out here, man, let's chop it up.
Right.
And I kind of just walked out the door. Didn't think about it. And I'm sitting in church the next day, and they're like, yo, Kobe's dead. I'm like, no way. I just talked to this guy yesterday. No way. Hey, he was gone, man.
Yeah, that's a sad day, man.
That fast.
Yeah.
That fast.
Sad day, sad time all around, man, because that was just crazy times. And what we were about to go through, we didn't know. But that was just the first thing that happened.
That was the
on
first
that year,
domino.
of that year, and that year was horrible.
Yeah.
The rest of the year for my family as a whole, the next year was horrible. So we had, those years were just bad, man. There was some bad times, but that was the beginning of it, man. And I'll never forget that when that happened. I definitely cried like a little baby, man, because you felt like you grew up with Kobe.
Yeah.
You felt like you knew him, even if you didn't. I never met him, but I felt like I knew him. You know what I'm saying? He's been around so much since you were little. You just knew Kobe. You know what I mean? It's been so long, but yeah, man. I just thought it was pretty dope. What he was doing for women's basketball. So I wanted to let's take a quick break, Elijah. Let's go to a quick commercial. We're gonna be back with Coach T and talking a little bit more about basketball here.
Because they try to
Welcome. A couple things.
Has
been back, everybody.
and I was promised I would be a part of that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just looking to move it in a different direction. Besides, now I had the only ABA team in Arizona for 2 years. Now it's like
Wow.
6 or 7 teams here.
Right.
So my success here has spawned them being able to reach out to new owners here in this region
Mm-hmm.
to try to duplicate what I'm done. I mean, it's
Partnerships are
Yeah.
going to be the way.
Yeah.
Now these with so many leagues coming out, and basketball is still a big deal.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter what league you in. You can have a G League, D League. People will watch and they will come because
Yeah.
the basketball is just that lovable. But if I do believe that there's got to be more partnerships between these lower end leagues to try to bring in better stadiums and more sponsorships. You know, just like with the WNBA, you know, it's all about sponsorships and partnerships.
You know that, but you know that's a real easy thing to say.
Right, exactly.
It's hard to do though
Exactly.
because it's a lot of chiefs and no Indians.
Mhm.
You got to be a chief and an Indian.
That's real. Yeah, it's hard, man.
Got to be able to say, okay, I can do that, but I can't do that. Yeah, I can follow you here, but I can't follow you there.
Right.
You know that's what's missing in our culture, unfortunately.
Yeah, man. It's tough.
I tried. Trust me, I tried to communicate with all of the other owners, and I'm like, hey, I had a group chat with them, and I'm like, hey, we need to do this, we need to do that. We have power here. We need to approach the ABA and say, hey, this needs to change because if it doesn't change, then we're not doing anything to support your brand. If you're not going to support us back down the line,
It's real.
you know, and well, that's a waste of time. Okay, all right, it's a waste of time. Well, you can keep taking your money and doing what you're doing and getting 5, 6 people coming to your game, and now it's all front end costs absorbed by your organization. Or we can come together and do something like we need to do and put these games in a bigger venue where we're all playing ABA games on the same night. So now your fans see your team, my fans see my team, and all of the fans that come, period, can gather in one place and they'll see 5, 6 games as opposed to coming to see one game.
Right.
It just didn't happen.
Is the CBA still around?
The CBA is still around. That ACPBL is so many leagues.
Yeah.
So many leagues. So the PBL is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
The TBL is making a lot of noise right now. That's the basketball league. They're making a lot of noise right now.
Yeah. The basketball league. They're the one that have the tournament, right?
Yeah.
And they do it on ESPN.
The basketball league is just the basketball league. The TBT, the $1 Million Tournament, that's ran by a guy named Dan Farrell, good friend of mine.
Oh, okay. So they're not the same. They're two different. Okay.
They're separate, and that's just a money tournament.
Okay.
That happens for a few weeks.
Yeah.
But they break it down with the regions. So they'll get the top teams in each region. They'll do qualifying games, and then they'll move them to one of the 6 or 7 sites that they have for regionals. And when they do the regional games, then they have their championships.
Yeah, man. That's a big deal. And it's giving people, you know, who may have played a little college, maybe played a
high level exposure.
They high level
exposure.
and a chance to win some big money. You know what I mean? So that's pretty dope. I love that tournament, man, and I watch it every time I get a chance to come on.
Yeah.
What do you think about Cube's league and where that's going with the 3-on-3?
Man, look, I that's funny you say that. I got some Big 3 shoes.
Mm-hmm.
I got some Big 3 shoes. They sent me some big. I went down to Vegas with a couple of my friends, and we kind of did like the pre-draft stuff. We were running around, having fun, playing, meeting with a lot of people, and they sent me the sky blue Big 3 shoes.
Oh yeah.
I think his league is giving homage and honoring that smaller basketball culture.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's giving these veterans a platform.
Yeah. Because Joe Johnson was out there last night.
To get back up to the top.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that I think that's going to be bad about that is the fact that I think the bigger industry will try to stifle something different and new because it could take a little bit of
the money away from the big boys.
Not so much money, but
viewers,
supporters. You know what I'm saying?
There's enough viewers for everyone, though, man.
But it's enough food on the table for everybody to sit down and eat.
Definitely. That's why I look at it, man. Well, I want to ask you a question. What do you think about? I heard Shaq talking about this the other day. The WNBA should lower their rims to 9 feet. What do you think about that?
No,
Why would they?
I think they should
because they can dunk more.
No, but that's that's demoralizing and destandardizing the women athletes, because women athletes have changed what they're doing. Why do you think it's more women coming up and can dunk now? They've changed what they have been doing. There has been a drastic revamping of the physicality for the game for women to have them focus on different muscle groups and strengthen in a better way.
Right.
They would normally train the same way the guys are, and you can't do that. It's two different dynamics. Now that they have customized how women train and get ready and prepare for the game, you see the athleticism coming up. I don't see men and women. I don't see that. I was talking to a good friend of mine, and he said this to me, said it to a whole group of us with the committed to the craft. Phil Handy said, I don't see them as women. I don't see them as men. They're all athletes. And when you're talking about athleticism, it's who does the most work. It's who dedicates themselves the most. It's who put the extra time in that succeeds at the end of the day as an athlete. Does it have anything to do with you being a woman or a man? When you come in the event, yes, you're a woman. You're dressed like a woman. You're dressed like a man.
Right.
When you're doing the event, you're athletes. When you leave, now we can differentiate again. And that's exactly the same way I train my players. My players, look, you don't treat her no different than me. Why should I? She's an athlete just like you.
For sure. I was just wondering what you thought about that, because I thought I watched that this week and I was like, I wonder what people think about that.
I think that will diminish the game if they did something like that.
Yeah.
It would bring a little bit of credibility down. People would start to say, well, women can't do what men do anyway. I think it would bring out some dogs, some sleeping dogs will wake up off that one.
Yeah. I hate the hate that women basketball get, man. It's so annoying. This year, I love that they are getting way more fans in the buildings. I love that they're getting record-breaking fans. We got two great teams.
Viewership.
Yeah, the viewership is doing great. We got the New York team and the Aces, the Las Vegas team. They're on the head-on collision to meet in the finals. Look like, you know what I'm saying, both of them got super teams.
Yeah.
So that's pretty dope. So talking about them, how did you get into working with Bridget with her camps and what she's doing with her kids?
Oh, well, I used to see Bridget all the time over at the facility on 48th and Broadway, because she had a training company that she was doing stuff with. And we just connected through a few players. I was part of the Mercury 2014 championship run. I was doing a lot of training for a lot of players behind the scenes. And they went on to the championship. They invited me down for All-Star Weekend. I had an All-Star Weekend pass. And I met a whole bunch of people. I met just literally behind the stages down there. It used to be called Talking Sticks Arena then.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Now it's the Footprint Center.
Yeah.
When I first started working down, it was like US Air Arena. So
US
it's
Air.
gone through some changes
Airways,
over the while.
It definitely has.
And I met her through some players, and then I saw her again. Then I was like, okay, all right. I'm like, okay, maybe this is meant to be.
Right.
So I'm like, I didn't say nothing that time. I was like, okay, if I see her again, then boom, oh yeah. So I leave that gym that I was just at and go to another gym and then come to another gym, and she's at that gym. And I'm like, you moving just as much as me.
Right.
She's like, well, I got you. I'm rocking and rolling. We get to talking, and I'm like, well, hey, I'm LG. I'm Bridget Pell. I know who you are. She said, well, I know who you are. I'm like, how? She said, I know who you are. I'm like, okay. I didn't realize my name was in circulation like that. And we get to chopping it up and talking, and we got a chance to network and talk and put some things together. And she told me some of the stuff that she said she was going to go through and do. And I told her, from the beginning, I said, okay, well, if you need me for anything, here's my number. It's been the same for 20 plus years.
Right.
It ain't changing. You hit me up. If I can do it, I'll do it. And she hit me up. And she's like, hey, I need you to help me with this. I said, all right. She hit me up. Can you do this? Yeah. And it just grew from there, man. I love Bridget, man. Just saw her at the Phoenix Suns camp. I just did the last two of the last 3 Phoenix Suns camps.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Did you go down there and do the 3-on-3 that she did recently?
I'm trying to get down there. That the Suns camps was in conflict with her doing it. But she just sent me the new flyer.
For the one in East Chicago?
Yeah, for the one in Chicago. But she has another one that she's going to be trying to do down at University Park.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I will be able to make it to that one. I'm trying to manage now, because what's coming up now is NBA Summer League. Like last year, I had 6 guys that came through the training company.
Wow.
And 5 of them made NBA teams.
That's amazing, bro. That is amazing.
You know what I'm saying? So I didn't expect that. I didn't expect that. I had they trained with me when they was young kids, and they just went through it. Coach, man, I remember everything, and I'm like, okay, hey, do your thing, man. And they're playing the game now.
Man, that's what it's about. What did you think about this Victor Wembanyama kid, man? You think he's gonna be the truth, or you think it's gonna be overhyped?
I got a chance to see him. When he was doing one of his pre-draft workouts. He got a lot of work to do.
Yeah. Yeah, man. He's thin, man. And
it's not that. It's not that. You need to have lean muscles to play basketball because there's quick twitch.
Right.
So he's good there. But I mean, with his height, to his footwork, to his reach, there's time discrepancies.
Okay.
There's position discrepancies. There's footwork issues.
Right.
There's balance issues.
So
there's
he's not moving. It's not going smoothly.
There's hand and eye coordination issues. So he's going to probably make it, yes, but he won't make it in the first year. He's going to have to go down maybe developmental league, learn how to play the game, get his coordination better, and then come back. And then, yes, I could see maybe in 2 to 3, maybe 4 years, he'll be dominating.
Yeah. Oh, hey, man. He's definitely hyped, man. They got him hyped up, man.
Excuse me, gentlemen. I had a question from David Burns to Coach T. He said, what strengths do you believe that can make any team stronger?
What strengths do I believe that can make any team stronger? The structure. The structure is the most important strength, and that's the philosophy from the coach. If the coach is a living embodiment of what he wants you to become, it makes it easier for you to embrace it, accept it, and then do it.
That's real.
So if your example in front of you is not good, then the camaraderie, the strength of the team is impaired by the leadership automatically. But if the leadership is right, it will change the attitude of the players, and the players will then have to be forced to conform and transform to that standard because there wouldn't be no other way for them to make it.
Wow. That's
a great question, David.
Yeah, man.
That's a great question.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's so deep, man, because you never put the thought in that the leadership qualities that it take to get these things done, then what it takes to make a whole team move in the same direction, like how hard that is. It's not easy, man.
It is. You're talking. But so a lot of people don't realize this. Most NBA teams have 15 players rostered, right? But they have an entire another team that consists of maybe 17 to 20, 22 guys who are what's called inactive players, but they still require to be at practice. They're still required to travel. And in some cases, in the event that they have a player that they call down, they call another player up. So all of these organizations have at least 30 to 35 gentlemen ready to go.
Right.
In shape, ready to go. Some of you might not ever know. You'll see them on the street, see them in a grocery store, and never know that they're playing pro basketball, but it's so under the radar that you don't understand that.
Right.
So it's a lot there that happens behind the scenes in the game. I mean, I walked around for a year and a half in the military before people realized that I was actually on the practice squad.
Wow.
They were like, well, hey, can you come down to the arena tomorrow night in full dress blues and pass out flyers? And I'm like, yeah, sure. I'm just glad to be a part of what you guys are doing.
Definitely.
So I'm handing out flyers, and then the funny part about that is they're asking me, have I ever been shot at by an AK-47 or have I shot an M16? And I'm like, hey, man, look, you're shooting shots in an NBA rim for thousands of fans. He said, yeah, but you're protecting millions of people around the world. Put it in perspective for me.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, yeah, you're right, I am, but I still want to play ball, man. They're like, you playing ball, man. You in here, man. Look, your practice squad is the best players on the team 9 out of 10 times because they're helping those starters get to a higher level. Because they're pushing them in the trenches.
And keeping them there too.
They're pushing them in the trenches, and there's always somebody nipping at your heels.
Yeah.
So when you stop working, that's when you get passed.
It's crazy because they don't talk about the NBA practice squads as much as they talk about the NFL
none of the love they should
practice squads. Like I know people who made a big deal because they made it to the NFL practice squad, and I know a couple cats that made it, and I never ever heard anyone talk about they made it to the NBA practice squad. So you're the first that I've known because I didn't even know it was a thing. A thing.
It is. They call them the scab players, not really scab, but there was a word they used. Almost like the movie Replacements. It's just a separate team.
Wow.
And we have our own set of coaches, and those coaches get direction from the head coaches. And we don't even get a chance to talk to the head coaches. We don't get a chance to go into some of that stuff. I was doing our whole so these guys are over here working out. They're working on offensive sets. Hey, they're working on this. Okay, you guys, we need to work through this. And they have us working on that stuff. So they have a lot of skill development going on during that time frame for guys that need to work on skill development.
Mm-hmm.
We have access to the trainers. We have access to the facilities. But, we don't have that one-on-one. We can just go knock on the coach's door and say, hey, coach, look, you have to get a recommendation to get moved up, and then you get a recommendation and it gets reviewed, and that recommendation goes through the process of getting reviewed, and then you can move on to the court. So by the time I made it onto the actual mainstream court, just because of hustle and dedication and being there, practice at 4, I'm there at 3:30, fully sweated, I'm already worked out.
Right.
Ran my suicides, guys are coming in, and he's like, hey, who's that guy right there? Bring him, come here. Look at this guy been here for 33 minutes, running, getting shots up, and you just coming in the building trying to get stretched out. This is the type of guy I need.
Right.
Hey, go over there on that court. That's how it happened for me.
Mm-hmm. Hard work.
And I'm like, man, I didn't know he even saw me.
Right.
I'm over here just happy to be here.
Right.
Then I get over there, and then they looking at me like, okay, you want to play with the big boys? Bow! right in the face. So yeah. Right in the face.
GP.
Yeah. And then I go get my stitch, and I came right back out, Band-Aid, black iron on. I said, let's go.
Man.
He's like, man, okay, I respect you now.
Right.
Okay, let's go. And then they kind of pulled me under the wing, and they taught me things about training. They taught me things about body and body mechanics. I had already did a lot of that stuff in the military with Master Fitness, but they just showed me some different things. And I'm like, okay. And I've been able to comprise all that stuff into my training company, which has made it, such a success.
And the training company is
Real
Grind, right?
Real Grind Hoops.
Real Grind Hoops, and you're the CEO owner of Real Grind Hoops.
Yes, sir.
It's a big deal, man. You try to downplay yourself, man. You're a big deal, bro. It's always good to be humble, man.
Just humble.
You're a mentor, a motivational speaker, owner of several different businesses. I just really appreciate you coming on, man, and having this conversation with us and talking about your life. It's really dope. When we met you, we didn't know, you know what I mean, how big of a deal you really were, but you know what I mean, so humble and such a cool guy, man.
Yeah.
We appreciate you coming down.
Appreciate you guys. Thank
For sure,
you.
man. We're gonna talk about some news. Let's take a quick break, man, and we're gonna do Habari news when we come back.
Absolutely.
We're almost done here. We're just gonna do some quick news.
Because they try to
welcome a couple things.
And back, everybody.
Now, this week's Habari News Weekly with Damon Dipling Ellison.
Welcome back, folks. So we're gonna go ahead and that was the news thing, huh?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Go ahead and run it, my bad.
Hey, I love it.
Now, this week's Habari News Weekly with Damon Dipling Ellison. Sponsored by
no one. But if you do enjoy healthy snacks, go to www.habarientertainment.com. Click on the Naked Nutrition banner at the top of the page. You can buy definitely dope, nutritious snacks, healthy snacks, 15% off your first purchase. You will love them. We like the oatmeal raisin cookies. That was our favorite. You see them here on our desk. But go ahead and get some snacks and let us know what you think. But let's get into some news, man. Our first story over there, Elijah, we're going to run the Supreme Court affirmative action story. So Supreme Court, they ended affirmative action. They're drawing criticism from Biden and Harris and anybody else with a brain, I guess. Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm upset about this, man, because I think that affirmative action, it hasn't really helped Black people as much as it probably could have.
Yeah.
It's if we look at the statistics, it's helped white women more than anyone, statistically. But to me, just the thought that these people think that we're in a post-racial America is just crazy to me. Right. For people to think that your name or your race doesn't hurt you to get into these places and these universities, top universities. They already did a study in Michigan because Michigan had already stopped affirmative action. 44%. They've lost when it comes to enrollment of minorities and other people of color already. And they just started, and I think it was 2016, something like that. They've already had a 44% decrease. So obviously these things in place needs to be there. We already have problems with graduation for Black people. We have problems with us getting into these schools. It's low rates for us going to these big universities.
Yeah.
You know, and we got people crying because there's such thing as HBCUs. They exist because we couldn't get in those schools.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so it's really sad, man. It's a sad day. That's the Supreme Court. I don't know what is wrong with these people, man. But every time I see a breaking news and it says Supreme Court, I already get ready for bad news.
Right.
Because I know they did something dumb.
It's bad that we got to condition ourselves for something like that.
To brace ourselves for bad news.
Yeah. Brace for bad news. I feel you.
Yeah. I mean, what can you do, man? We have 6 conservative justices out of 9 in a country that is mostly liberal. We have 6 conservatives. It doesn't mirror our country at all. It's just bull, man. We let Trump in for 4 years and we gonna pay for it for a long time, bro. Yeah, man. But I don't know, man. I really do. Going back to this, Clarence Thomas, Justice John Roberts. He said He said a majority opinion written by Justice John Roberts that the system in place lacks sufficient focus and measurable objectives, warranting the use of race, unavoidably employ race in a negative manner, involve racial stereotyping, and lack of meaningful points. This admission program cannot be reconciled with the guarantees of the Equal Protection Clause. So, and also Clarence Thomas was saying that the law doesn't see race. The newer justice, the female justice, Black lady, I forget her name right now. I forget her name. It starts with a K. I forget her name, but anyway, she was saying that law may not see race, but people do. And this is
society does.
The law doesn't, because it's a piece of paper.
Exactly.
But the people enforcing it see
race.
They see race.
They see the color of your skin.
So they interpret the law
definitely,
and they take it out on those races.
Most definitely.
Totally through interpretation as opposed to how it's written and on paper.
It's just crazy to hear a Black man say that stuff. What he said that law doesn't see race. No, it hasn't. It hasn't. Law hasn't seen race at all. And that's been the problem.
Right.
That they were able to do things to certain races because they didn't care about those races, or the law didn't protect those races. And how is that a good thing? It's not a good thing that the law doesn't see your race or see or protect what you are because of your race. It's not good. He's bragging like that's not a good thing, man.
Right.
We have to change the way we're thinking on this situation, man. what we're gonna see is school admission down for and we'll see it across the board.
See job rates go
down.
down.
And it's gonna hurt the Black community, which is already feeling the pains. Hopefully these kids, they can get into different because HBCUs is not everywhere.
Well, I don't think it will hurt us that much because we are culture. We are music. We are sports.
Yeah, definitely.
We are fashion.
That's true. So you're going to get into them.
Yeah, they burn a bridge for us. You know what we're going to do? We're going to build our own bridge.
Make a new one.
Yep.
Make a new one.
We have been one of the only races to survive the tyranny that we have experienced.
That's real.
And still thrive to where we're modeled and copied at every turn of the century.
Most definitely.
So we're going to be all right.
Right. We're going to figure it out.
They're going to be trying to figure out what they need to do with the next move because they're going to be watching us. They're already watching us.
Right. And that's what I'm saying.
I can already see you mentioning that there's not a lot of HBCUs around. That will increase.
Definitely. And that's what I'm hoping the outcome is.
That's going to be the outcome.
Not only is it going to increase at the HBCU level, it's going to increase all the way down because we already have.
Yeah.
Like there's already been talks about how micro schools are ran by Black people.
Black people. Absolutely.
Most of the micro schools that have been coming up lately are Black owned micro schools.
And that's good. And we need that. Because we have to come out of our community to go get schooling. We have to depend on them to go get schooling. We can do these small micro schools and we can teach our own neighborhoods instead of depending on them and having these fights about which books are okay and what's okay for our kids to learn about the history and what they done did. So micro schools, man, cool, man. I mean, dog, it's
just gonna take us to a different level to where when HBCUs started, when they first gained their popularity, and that's just how it's just gonna make them even more popular now.
It's out of necessity,
and that's what's gonna happen because of the affirmative action is no longer. So we're just gonna create our own schools, our own paths to get to where we need to go.
That's real, and I hope that's the outcome, and
that is gonna be the outcome. Yeah, and then these bigger schools are gonna do what they normally try to do when they see something coming up.
They're gonna try to buy them out.
They're gonna come to the table. They're gonna try to buy it out to get the ownership, to get that network back in.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll be strong enough to say no. How about we gonna buy you out?
Yeah, but they may want to mess with the regular admission kids, but they want these kids who's coming in with these scholarships from these schools.
That's exactly what they
want.
With
these basketball and football players. They want them, but the normal everyday kid from the hood who's trying to do something better, they don't care about him.
Yeah.
No, forget him. But that's the person that needs the most help, man, to make sure that he gets to one of these top universities because they deserve it, man.
More than that, though, but that's the most powerful weapon in the world.
Yes, it is, man. Yes, it is.
A untainted, powerful mind. Determined.
Yeah.
All it needs is a chance.
That's real. That's real.
So he's gonna.
Yeah. You want to check on her?
Be all right.
Please. We're gonna go to the next story here, man. We got the Supreme Court. They've also gotten rid of the student loan deal that Biden had put place. He wanted to get rid of the loans from people who needed the relief, people who are having a hard time paying for their loans, people who are overhead in these deals. You know what I mean? It's crazy when you hear people talking about, well, I didn't get a bailout and this didn't happen and I didn't get help. When we bailed out banks, billionaire dollar banks,
yes,
we help all type people who fall into situations, they get aid. People that get hurt, they get disability. So people that fall into a place where they can't pay their student loans, they can't get help.
Yeah,
they're just on their own.
Yeah,
they should have relief. There should be a way to get relief if you run into problems, just like with anything else in the world. They're like, well, I repaid mine. That's good for you. Your credit will go up. You will look better. But I have a problem paying mine, and I need some type of way to help me through my financial issue.
Yeah.
I understand people just pull your bootstraps up. I understand those people. I get those people. but it's not always that easy.
It's kind of hard to pull your bootstraps up if you're wearing sneakers. You know what I'm saying? So,
man, dude.
I feel you, man.
Dude, they get on my nerves, man. But Biden was trying to do something to try to help the people a little bit. Hopefully, man. They said they're gonna do a new plan to try to help people out. But the main problem that needs to be taken care of is the cost of these schools.
Yes.
These schools they cost too much. Yes, you were able to pay for your schooling in the 60s and 70s and 80s because it didn't cost $100,000 to go to school for 3 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's astronomically crazy right now how much kids have to pay. And
Mm-hmm.
then you get out of school, you don't even have a job, and you're already $50,000 to $60,000 to $100,000 in debt.
Well, a lot of parents don't realize that tuition costs have gone up because of the fact that these schools have seen how much the athletic sides can generate. So it's not tuition that they're paying for. They're paying for athletic training facilities, stadiums, new facilities that come up on these campuses that are geared to the athletes.
Wow.
To give them a chance to perform at a higher level.
It's all about money then.
It's all about money.
To make more money.
Now you get everybody saying, okay, I want to go to that school because they just built this new
they got a dope facility.
athletic facility that's going to help me be the best version of myself playing this game.
Right.
Those costs get broken down by percentages. Those percentages get taxed on to every student that's part of the student body, which gives you your conglomerate. And as you look at it, you take 1 million people, put 1 million people in line, say, everybody give me 5 cents. You got a little bit of change at the end of that line.
Yeah.
So it is. If it's broken down just to the education, the way it's supposed to be, the cost wouldn't be that much.
Yeah, man.
The cost wouldn't be that much.
So what Biden said he's going to come up with a new plan to provide some student debt relief, which is based on a different law than the one now defunct student loan forgiveness program was linked to. This new pathway requires the Department of Education to undertake a formal rulemaking process, which typically takes months. Details were not released on Friday, which might benefit if that process is successful.
But I think I did hear something about that. They were thinking about calling it the American Student Education Act or American Education Act or
they'll come up with
like
some
that.
funny name.
Yeah, they will.
But repayments for people who owe, unfortunately, will start back in October. So
Wow.
So man, yeah, sad. But let's talk about some man, why is this thing doing this? Okay. We got Apple, man, has hit $3 trillion.
Man.
First publicly traded company to close a trading day with $3 trillion market value. Marking another milestone for a technology juggernaut that has reshaped society with a line of products that churn out eye-popping profits, man.
Yes.
Eye-popping. These people are $3 trillion.
Well, I mean, it's not really surprising that they worth $3 trillion, considering the fact that every Apple iPhone costs $1,200 to $1,400.
And
and then your iPod, your earbuds gonna cost you another $200.
I mean, it doesn't. That's the Windows or the Android shit costs that much too. So it doesn't matter.
But this is what y'all don't see with the Apple. They give you a different type of cord that you can use with one phone that you can't use with the other.
Exactly. So you got to buy a new. So
you got to buy a new box
piece
or a new. Yes.
You got to buy a new accessory to go with the new phone.
They'll give you one phone with one set of memory, and another with another, but it's all gonna run out fast. Which means what? You got to buy what?
Extended memory.
Extended
memory. Cloud stuff is they're one of the biggest cloud users too, because they trick you into that stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's so annoying.
And for the people that really don't be paying attention, Apple only gives you 50 gigabytes of memory.
Yeah, they don't give you nothing,
your
man.
phone.
But see, you can get more because
for $299 a month to get 200 gigabytes.
No. You can get more because when you go to your distributor and you ask them for your phone code, which unlocks your phone, First thing they're gonna ask you is why you want it. But once you pay your phone off in full, there's a code that you can put on your phone. When you put the calculator up and turn it, it goes to a bigger calculator. And you can put your code in there, and it allows you to deactivate things that are normal things that are set on your phone.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these things slow down your
some of that proprietary tool
yeah,
that they put on your phone.
you can turn those things
Yep.
off, which speeds your phone up. So now when they start slowing it down, you're still good to go.
And they were
But a lot
known
of
for
people
doing
And
that
they
too.
good for slowing the phone
yeah,
down.
they'll slow your phone down.
Especially when the
heartbeat.
network is busy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. But they their shares went up 2.3%. They were trading at 193.97 a share.
Wow.
So
That is insane.
$194 a share.
For one share.
One share.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Wow.
That's crazy, man. So let's talk about some local stuff, man. We got the city of Tempe. They're replacing all the KKK linked properties and street names.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good.
Yeah.
Get rid of them racist bastards.
Yeah, Mayor Corey Woods is doing an outstanding job.
Yes, he is, man.
I got a chance to meet with him. He's a really great guy.
Man, dude, I love what he's doing, man. And I don't care who's mad. Get rid of him.
Yep.
So we had Park de Souza replaces Hudson Park. Rancho de Stelo to be a special marked area east of Royal Road and south of University. We got O'Brien Street replaces East Lurd Street. Recognized pioneer farmer Pedro Pete Obregon. Michelle Brooks Tatras Park replaces Redden Park. Recognizes community activist and philanthropist and volunteer Michelle Brooks Totris. Romo Jones Street replaces West Large Street. Recognizes husband and wife pioneers Adolfo Romo and Joaquina Jones, who fought and won the court case for children to be able to attend school with white children. Why we don't need affirmative action.
Right.
You know what I mean? We had to fight to even go to school with white kids. And they talking about we don't need affirmative action.
Absolutely.
People fought and died for these things, man. Little black kids had to walk into school getting stuff thrown at them, all type stuff they didn't have to deal with for us to be able to get these places, man. And they just strike it down like it means nothing. Yeah. And then it's a black man doing it.
Right.
Clarence Thomas. Man, that dude, their dog. Anyway. Thomas Lane replaces Hudson Lane, recognizes Maggie and Theodore Thomas, who were an African-American pioneer family and business owners. Mary and Moses Green Park replaces Horace Park, recognizes Mary and Moses Green, who were the first African-American landowners in what is now Tempe. Ragsdale MLK Park replaces 6th Street Park. This in addition is renamed and proposed by the City Council on February 9th in recognition of Martin Luther King Jr. and Lincoln Ragsdale, a prominent local civil rights activist and business and veteran. It's dope, man.
Absolutely.
Let's celebrate people who made a difference instead of people who were hating and trying to get people to not go places. Let's celebrate people who fought and broke open and opened doors for others.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that was garbage. What we naming it after KKK members for? For what? What did they do? But nothing but hate. It's ridiculous that we had them on here for so long. But anyway,
I don't think it was something that was even thought about because they had been in place for so long.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So long.
But if you don't know the history of where you come from, don't know the history about some of the stuff you see around you, how do you know it needs to be changed?
That's real. And we don't talk about it and we don't know. So we just see the streets. We have no idea that this is racist dude who hated us the whole time.
Right.
So it's tough, man. And you live on this street. You know what I mean? You invest in this street. You invest in these things. And they're all named after all these people who hated us. That's not right. We're going to talk about this last thing before we get to your stories, Mama. We got a Scottsdale-based beverage company. They're called Yerba. They're listed now on the OTC market. The Scottsdale-based Yerba Brands Corp. That's the trading.
Okay.
So they can trade on the big market. That is now traded on the U.S. over-the-counter market.
Wow.
That's OTC. Following the beverage company's record-setting revenue in the first quarter. Yerba began trading on the OTCQX on June 21st under the symbol YERBF. So if you want to buy shares, you can. That's dope. The OTCQX, which is now most regulated tier of the OTC market group, includes blue chip stocks, multinational and domestic companies seeking access to U.S. investors.
Wow.
So
they're trying to go big.
Yeah, man. They're trying to go. They're doing big things, man. They had a good first quarter. and it looks like it's a drink, if I'm not mistaken. Does it look like it?
Yeah, it's a can. I believe it's yerba mate tea.
It's the tea. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. It's Scottsdale based company, man. So go check these companies. I'm gonna check them out, man. If I see one, just because I know they're from the AZ. You know what I mean? We try to support everything that's Arizona based.
Yeah.
What you got, Mama?
This week we got the World Health Organization. We're going to talk about them, how they are intending to soon make a announcement announcing that aspartame sweetener will be a carcinogen.
There you go. But and I think that's banned in most other countries.
In most other countries
across the world.
If it's labeled as a carcinogen, it's
no. I'm saying aspartame. Period. Yeah. In other countries, they don't allow people to have it, and we allow people to have it here.
Right.
And I think it's banned in most places already.
It is.
They said in an official announcement, which is expected in a couple weeks, but the leaks came from Reuters.
Oh wow.
From the World Health Organization's advisors suggest that health organization could declare the artificial sweetener carcinogenic. They said back in May, WHO issued new recommendations advising against long-term use of artificial sweeteners, including aspartame, to lose weight because they increased your risk for type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and early death.
Yeah, man. Diet sodas, man.
So
that
your
diet
Sweet and Low,
is bad.
your Equal, Sativa, all those little packets of sweeteners, sugars, y'all, you might as well just use regular sugar.
I remember watching the
It has
science
0 calories.
Yeah, I mean it's just better for you.
Right.
All these different sugars they coming out for you, they're just bad for you, man. And we got to stop using this stuff. And like I said, these diet sodas, they're so bad, man. Everybody I've known,
artificial sweeteners.
Yeah, that drank this stuff a lot, they all end up having health problems.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's a correlation there. There has to be. I mean, it is, and we know it, but we won't do anything about it because they're making so much money. I'm happy they taking this step. Hopefully we can get more things out of here that's killing people, man. What you got on the Hollywood? Run the Hollywood hot mess room real fast.
All right, now.
Get ready for the week's Hollywood hot mess with Iesha Rowan. Sponsored by...
I'm just going to talk a little bit about sports.
No one. If you would like to help us out a little bit, go to www.habarientertainment.com. Click on the Naked Nutrition banner at the top of the screen. Buy yourself some lovely oatmeal raisin cookies, or you can buy the chocolate chip or some whey protein. They're all good. They all help you, and they have raw ingredients. All right. So this week, we're going to go ahead and let you guys know that Travis Scott will not be criminally charged for the Astroworld tragedy.
Wow.
They said the Texas grand jury declined to indict Scott on criminal charges and found that no one individual person was responsible for the deadly crowd surge.
Yeah, man. I'm happy, man, because I never really thought that dude should be charged with that. They said he said something dumb on the microphone or something, but he said he didn't even know what was going on.
Right,
so
exactly. But prosecutors have said that the victims' families are free to file civil lawsuits in the case.
Wow.
Yeah, because civil lawsuits are different than
a criminal.
Right, exactly. We're not going to commit, just like with OJ. He's not convicted, but civil court, you can go and you can sue him and try to hit him on something civil.
Right. Try to get some money out of him.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to do. Right. And then in other news, Kourtney Kardashian has changed her last name after marrying Travis Barker.
Oh.
So she is now Kourtney Kardashian Barker.
Oh, God. I knew she was going to do that, too. I knew she was going to put a hyphen. They can't lose the Kardashian name.
They really can't. They just cannot lose it.
Oh, my God. It's so
important. They can't do it. It's just it's just like, I gotta have my last name.
Like it's so, man.
My name is more important.
And we talking about OJ. That's the only reason these girls are famous at all.
At all.
Yeah.
It's because
their
daddy was his lawyer.
Lawyer on the OJ case. Never would have had fame if it wasn't for that. Ever.
You mean the epitome of womanhood nowadays It doesn't have anything to do with that,
Mr.
I mean,
at
Miss.
all.
Man, dude.
Kevin Costner has claimed that he cannot afford to pay his estranged wife $248,000 a month in child support.
Ooh.
Now that he is no longer under contract for Yellowstone.
But he quit, didn't he? Did he quit Yellowstone?
No.
He got fired? No,
They-
he
they-
quit.
They replaced him with
Yeah.
a
Because he was
younger,
tripping.
more.
He was tripping. He
active
wasn't not
actor.
meeting
And-
the contract of he wasn't meeting the stipulations of the
Right.
contract.
And since he was on Yellowstone
Mhm.
and, his ex-wife, and he's got this monthly child support payments, those were a fixed amount
Right.
based off of his income.
He's like, I'm broke
on
now.
Yellowstone.
I ain't got no money.
So now that his income is going to be more
Different.
inconsistent,
Right.
he's like, "Hey, judge,
Yeah.
I
You need to
I
we
can't, I
make
can't
those
pay
changes.
this G
That's $250,000 a month.
a month."
$1 million a quarter.
Yeah.
She getting $3 million a year
Exactly.
Woo.
in child support. This
Oh,
not
good.
spousal support.
Child support.
Right. Woo.
And then the Rust armorer, Hannah Gutierrez Reed,
Mhm.
has allegedly ditched cocaine after the Rust shooting happened.
What?
Someone has accused her or has witnessed her, allegedly,
Mhm.
passing a bag of cocaine to somebody to get rid of after the shooting happened.
And this was the
Wow.
who was this person?
Hannah Gutierrez Reed, she was the armorer.
Oh,
She
she's
was
the person that gave the
in
gun.
charge
Mhm.
of giving the gun.
If you want to know the truth, she's the
So,
person that
should have been
it's-
charged.
right.
She's the
It's all
she's-
her fault
It's all her
anyway.
fault
because
she's the last person that this
and
is
her
the safety.
family,
Yeah.
her family, like they have a history in doing this for Hollywood.
Right.
Like she's not the first person. Like her dad did it, and his dad did it.
Right.
Like they've been doing it
For generations.
For generations.
Yeah.
So
And
she should know
She
all
should
the
have known
safety.
better than what
Mhm.
she did,
Right.
and she got somebody killed. And it makes sense that maybe she was high. You know what I'm saying? Getting messed up. That makes sense, man. Because you
And
put
she was like,
somebody's
snap.
life in danger. You know what I mean? Because it's just crazy that something
Yeah.
like that happened, and
Right.
and a bullet
And
got
that
into
would
this.
explain why that incident occurred,
Yeah,
if that is true.
Right.
So we'll keep you updated.
All right, man. Let's run the sports one real fast.
All right.
It's gonna be real quick here, man. We just gonna talk about
Comic Book Corner. Sponsored by
the Secret Invasion real fast, man. With episode 2 was a little slower, but they did have some scenes that was kind of dope. We
just
had
watched that, too.
the Sonya Farnsworth. She was interrogating somebody, man, and that scene got kind of crazy when they started messing people up in there. I thought that was a pretty good scene. And then we got Nick at the end. Looks like he might be dabbling in some green, doing the old who was dude from Star Trek back in the day was always sleeping with green women.
Oh, you talking about Kirk?
Yeah, Kirk.
Kirk.
Captain Kirk.
Kirk.
He loves some alien booty, man. That's what Nick Fury doing. So I don't know what's wrong with Nick, man. But we're gonna see. next week.
I wonder if he actually knows she
That's
is
the
Skrull.
whole thing.
That's the
Does
question.
she know that this is an alien? Because
Right.
they can change and make themselves look human. So we don't know yet, but everybody else is assuming that he already know. And that's weird. That's weird. But yeah, they'll play the sports one now.
Alrighty. Sports. That one.
Habari Sports.
Suns, they signed a lot of people yesterday when NBA free agency started like 6:00 Eastern time. We got Okogie's coming back. We got Eubanks coming from Portland. We got Watanabe coming from the Nets. We got another forward, Me Too. I can't say his name, first name. We got Damian Lee came back, and then we got Bates Diop. I think he played with San Antonio. So so we got I think the bench is pretty decent, man. I think that's decent pickups. We got some bigs, we got some guards, we got some good forwards. I think they ready to go, man. This gonna be a fun year. We should go far. I'm not gonna say 100% we got the ring, but man, I feel really good that we're gonna be in the finals and taking it and giving us a chance to be the second four corner state to win, and we let Denver beat us, dog. And I'm really upset about that.
David Burns said Lakers signed Jason Hayes for a 2-year.
So what? Nobody cares.
Lillard has apparently requested a trade.
What?
Mm-hmm.
He finally said it.
It says Blazers star Lillard requests trade, sources say.
What? But see, now we got James Harden want to get out of there in Philadelphia. We can get Dame Lillard, man, over in Philly, man. That'd be nice, man. Him and Embiid would be something to see, man.
Yeah.
Man. Then you can get Harden out of there. Maybe they can do a 3-team trade where they can get Harden somewhere else, get Portland some draft picks and stuff, and get the 76ers Damian Lillard. You know what I mean? That would be nice, man. Because I think that's where he should be. Because everybody else stayed place. But I think Philadelphia would be a dope spot for him, man, and they would kill, man.
Patrick Beverly agreed to a 1-year deal with the Sixers.
Man, did y'all see that Draymond?
Yeah.
Draymond, man,
100 million. 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah, I mean he deserves it, man. He deserves it.
He deserves it. He's so underrated as a player.
So underrated,
Brings
and you don't
so much
have
to the
to.
table.
People nowadays are so caught up in scoring. And it's not all about scoring, man. You don't have to score a point to make a difference in the game.
Yeah.
And I think too many people are caught up in how many points did he score. You know what I mean? And Draymond's not that. He's gonna set some great screens. He's gonna make some great passes. He's gonna play some great defense, and he's gonna hustle his ass off. Right. Yeah. And that's what you want, man. You want that. You don't want everybody trying to shoot the damn ball because everybody can't
have a dog in the fight.
That's real, man. Everybody can't be that. Another surprise was Van Fleet going over to Houston, man. That was a big win.
That was not a surprise.
That wasn't a surprise to you?
Not happy.
No?
He was not happy.
But I don't see him winning in Houston, man.
I don't. He might be able to do something. They got a young bench there too.
Yeah,
so
they're really young.
He's going to be able to mentor those young men.
Yeah, that's true.
He's going to be able to build them up. He's going to be able to lead them so far, and then he's going to be able to turn it over to them and then let them grow.
Yeah, that's true. I agree with that.
Yeah.
And
he's getting close too.
Yeah, man. Our dude is good, man. He got paid. He got paid. That's one thing that he did get that payday. He deserves it, man, because
Desmond
I
Bane
think
got paid too.
Yeah, Desmond Bane, but he deserves it too, man. He was big time.
A 5-year deal.
205 million.
207 max extension.
Yeah.
See, but you know, they make it seem like these numbers is big.
Nah, man.
But they not.
They not.
Compared to what the actual organization is making per year off of what they paying them.
They're still minimum wage people.
That's real.
Right.
They wouldn't give you that.
Oh, he got 100 million. Yeah, okay.
That's just minimum
half quarterly.
Right.
So he's gonna get a check up front, but that's gonna cover all the bills he already got right now because he's not working no second job.
Right. Yeah, man.
And then he gonna get this other half at the end of the year to pay the rest of the bills.
He not doing no heavy endorsements. What do you see Draymond doing the commercial for Dell computer?
Nah, he ain't getting all that.
No, so that's all it is. They don't understand that. They don't.
Man. I never trip off the numbers because I know they're not gonna give him 200 million if they're not making 10 times that.
Right.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's not coming. He ain't getting 200 million if they ain't making $1 billion off this industry or more. So I already know.
They have that thing worded so meticulously in the contract.
I bet.
This, got to do that, got to be here, got to be there. If you fail to miss one of these things, your contract can be terminated.
Yeah, look at Zion. They had all those weight stipulations worked into his contract. If he didn't hit certain benchmarks, they wasn't gonna pay him all that money. So he's been losing money for the last 2-3 years, bulling around, eating McDonald's and crap, man. That dude, he's tripping. But all right, man, let's run the game. You know how to bring it in?
Yes, I gotta go to the plus, right? And then
you gotta load it. You gotta upload it, right?
Oh, I still gotta upload it. Okay. Where's it gonna be from the upload then?
Go back, close that up. Upload. It's on the drive. Ain't it on the drive?
Yeah, you gotta go to Google Drive.
Go to Habari Studios. Habari Studios, bro?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't do this. Continue.
And it should be the first. It should be the only trivia one in there.
There you go. Get that. There you go.
Let me me get my brain right here. Trivia.
And then throw it over there, right?
Open it all the way up. Go ahead. Oh, you can run the
trivia for the loot.
Oh yeah.
Graphics.
I'll throw the ticker off real quick. Can't see it though. All right. I can't
Go down. I can tell which one it is.
There we go.
There
Can't
you go.
reach it.
The money one.
This
There we
one,
go.
right?
Yep.
Let's get ready to play trivia for Loot. Sponsored by
We got some basketball trivia today, and let's see what you know.
All right.
Okay.
We got 10 questions, 7 out of 10 right, and you will get a t-shirt.
Free Habari Entertainment t-shirt.
Right. Question number 1. Who is the only team to defeat the
Ooh.
Boston Celtics
at home.
Boston, Madison Square Garden,
that
during the 1985-1986
that was a
season?
great year. They was a good team.
I'm gonna say
I don't fucking know. I
the
don't know.
Chicago Bulls.
No, I already know they didn't win it. I already know.
I don't know.
What's
That
the
would
answer?
be the Portland Trailblazers.
Wow.
Okay, I didn't know that.
I wouldn't have never guessed
I
them.
didn't know that. 85.
They went into
86?
Boston and got it done, huh?
85, 86, 85.
Who was on that team? Drexler. I don't think Drexler was on that
Drexler?
team.
No.
He might have been him and Porter.
Drexler was on that team. Porter. Yeah, they
Yeah,
had
man,
Terry
that's
Porter.
crazy,
They had a squad.
Huh.
They did have a squad then.
For sure.
Okay.
Let's see what we got.
Okay.
George Gervin's most points scored in a quarter record was broken in 2015 by this player, who still holds the record today. And you'll get bonus points if you know how many points they scored.
Ooh.
Wow, she going deep. 2015.
I mean,
okay,
you know,
let's
only true basketball fans know these
2015.
questions.
Oh, that's a hard one.
2015. George Gervin. And did he play on the same team that George Gervin played on?
No.
Or just somebody that broke his record?
He just broke the
record.
Single scoring in a quarter. I'll say Steph Curry. Golden State Warriors.
Ooh, you close.
You was
It was
real
Klay
close.
It's Klay Thompson. 37.
37,
I didn't remember the
okay.
points though, but I remember it was Klay though.
Okay.
37
in a quarter.
Woo!
The first NBA game was played between the New York Knicks and the Toronto Huskies. In what year?
Oh crap!
Wow, she going back.
That's
that
tough.
Would be 1975.
No,
Nope.
I'm gonna say 1942.
Close.
Oh,
It's
okay.
1946.
Damn.
46. Okay.
Damn. I knew I was close though. I knew it was in the 40s.
All right. Not only was he the first African American drafted into the NBA, but he was also the first official NBA player by a signed contract.
Man, it's this dude name should be more known like Jackie Robinson, but he is not, unfortunately. And I don't remember his name, so
You know, it's gonna be an old black name like a Clifford or something like that.
I can't remember.
I don't either, man.
I can't remember it.
I remember him.
I remember his story, but I cannot remember
I
his
do not
name.
remember dude's name at all, bro.
Chuck Cooper.
Chuck Cooper.
See, Chuck.
Right.
Wow.
I bet you he used to work on his car with a cigarette hanging
Right.
on his lid.
Right.
Oh, the NBA.
The National Basketball Association was originally called what?
Man, I have that on my phone right now. I'm not going to cheat, though.
Oh, man.
And I cannot remember it. I actually have that on my phone because I have the first NBA logo.
Dang.
I cannot remember that.
The MPA. Men's Professional Association. That's my guess because I have no idea. He's with the womp womp.
With the womp womp.
I can't remember
because it's going to be the Basketball Association of America.
That's
Wow.
what it was. Yeah.
Wow, that's definitely a long name.
I actually have that logo on my phone too, because everybody doesn't understand the history of the NBA logo.
This is a hard one.
Held in Boston Madison Square Garden Club, the first NBA All-Star game took place in what year?
First NBA All-Star game?
All-Star.
Okay, so I got a question to that question. Is this before the merger or after the merger?
I'm thinking before. That's what I'm thinking.
Before the merger, they didn't really have All-Star games.
You might be right about that.
They just had playoffs to championships and went right back into the next season because players went from the NBA to the ABA to continue playing the year round, because the ABA and the NBA ran parallel to each other, not same time, but in season, start season.
Right.
I don't remember because we just had a celebration.
I would say 1969.
69. I'm going to say 56.
You're closer. It's 1951.
51. Yep. Yeah, I'm like it's got to be in the 50s because I'm like they had it. Yeah.
All right. In 1995, this 6th seed was the lowest seeded team in the NBA history to win a championship.
I don't know.
I know.
Right now, I don't know. He got
Houston Rockets, 1995.
That was the Rockets.
Got me on that one.
Now this one should be a little easier for everybody.
Knee deep in military then.
I know this one too.
This player has the most turnovers in the finals.
I think I know.
Most turnovers in the finals.
In the finals.
Man, that's a lot of people, man. Most though?
I'm gonna say LeBron.
I'm gonna say James Harden.
I don't even think he made it once.
Yeah, he did. They made it with OKC.
Yeah, once. It's LeBron, ain't it?
It is LeBron.
I knew it. He'd have been there so many times, man, and he lost. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yeah, it's LeBron. He's out there fucking up.
They are the only franchise to move from the ABA to the NBA and subsequently win a championship.
I know it is.
I'm gonna say the Spurs.
Yep.
It is the Spurs.
That's one.
Yeah. Count it up.
Yeah.
That one win.
It's another one though. There's another one. It's Denver now. Denver's on that list now.
Denver's on that now.
There's two people now.
Yeah. That's got to be updated because the Nuggets was an ABA team as well.
All right. Last and final question. Which player managed to win the NBA Finals MVP award, even though they were on the losing team?
I know this one.
I can't remember, man.
Jerry West. 1971, I think. Or 72. One of the two. But it's
I don't
Jerry
have
West.
the year, but it was Jerry West.
Definitely.
Wow.
Let's see.
One. Bing, bing, bing.
Thank you for playing.
Coach, everybody gonna go back this week and be like, you should have knew all them trivia questions.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
he was folding under pressure, man. It's hard.
So.
But you know what? Everybody fold under pressure. I don't know what it is. Is it my questions?
It might be.
It might be.
Hey man, like those some questions.
Yeah,
those was some questions.
That was tough.
Right there.
She be thinking it's great sometimes, for real.
She went to the bottom of the barrel on that, man. I like
it. But Coach, man, we really appreciate you coming, bro.
No, you know,
really
I appreciate
having you on.
When she first reached out to me, I'm like, what's this? You don't understand. The DM list is ridiculous.
Right.
I need to get somebody just to manage that alone.
I bet, man.
And it's just like, I'm like looking. Okay, what is this again? I'm like, yeah, this is actually me. You got me today. What's up? Because I have, my girlfriend, so she kind of manages some of that stuff sometimes. I'm like, here, just take that. I got to go. She's like,
Sure.
No things scheduling help with appointments. Because if I try to do it all by myself, I'd miss so much stuff. It makes no sense. I got to set reminders to the reminders. I had a
That's
reminder.
probably what I should do.
I had to set a reminder, and then I'm sitting there at the court, and I had a second reminder. I'm like, oh, damn, I'm supposed to be doing a radio interview right now. I am on the way.
For sure. We appreciate you coming, man. It was really...
I truly appreciate you guys for letting me just come and just share just a little bit about who I am.
For sure.
That means that's still therapy for me.
Definitely. And we learned a lot, man. And I think people will be able to gain something from this experience, because I think that what you offer as a person and a coach is just a lot. And I think people will use you as an example as what they can move forward as his life, because I really think that you are inspiration for that. I've said that a couple of times. But I
appreciate that.
Thank you, Coach Lawrence Taylor. Peace out, everybody. Until next week. Thanks for watching. Peace.
Holla, holla.